It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
This is a serious one, losing your job. I have so many thoughts on this one because realize I think a lot of what has shaped me in life is I watched my father get laid off when I was in late middle school, about to go into high school. And it really did shape me in a lot of ways because I saw how you could go work for a company for 20, 25 years. And then because they had a strategic shift in a different direction, I mean, you could get left behind on it. And that's so sad to me. And then I think about, one of my friends, he's still one of my best friends. Matter of fact, what's crazy, he now runs his father's business, is that he was a $7 an hour welder, got laid off, and then went and started his own company. And now he's created a family legacy with this, him and his wife have this successful company. And now that my childhood best friend is still running and has his own legacy that he's building for his family. All these things, here's what I'm trying to say. Can you turn a negative event of losing your job into something positive? Maybe this is your time to make your mark.
So in that example you said, I don't think this is so bold to say, had that individual not been laid off, perhaps he would have stayed a $7 welder for the rest of his life, rest of his career. His son wouldn't have had the opportunity to step into the family business. There wouldn't even be a family business. Maybe him actually being laid off was one of the best things that ever happened to him.
It definitely put him, because he went to a level of wealth that I don't think would have been available to him otherwise. And I think, matter of fact, I got with some of my high school buddies this year for spring training before COVID-19 shut it all. And we got to talk about some of this stuff. And it really is powerful. And that's why I do tell you, and you're spot on, Bo, negative events can have some unique benefits to them. Because here's what I mean by this. When you're put through a situation, look, we just went through, we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, hopefully coming to the close of what's going on. There's a lot of people losing their jobs right now. But here's what I will tell you to do if you're trying to find the silver lining in this entire experience. Use the vision, use the clarity that comes from having something like this happen to you to figure out if, now that all the noise has been removed from your life because you have to make a decision, see if something opens up that says, this is my chance to make something happen that could, just as Bo said, make a positive impact in the long term.
And so when we think about like your ability to make a mark, there's a few different things that potentially losing your job could cause or could allow to happen. The one you just mentioned is maybe this is a time to start a business. Yeah. Maybe this is the time you've had the entrepreneurial seeds and juices flowing, but you never could make the decision, okay, well, I'm going to step away and I'm going to go do this. And now you don't have the choice. Now that you've lost that job, it's okay, I've got to either make it or make it. Those are the only two options that I have. And so you have to go out there. Maybe this is a great time to do that because you have to.
Well, and let's pivot a little bit, because sometimes starting a business, it can be a little scary.
Sure.
But what about if you just need to move to a different area? Maybe your skill set where you are would really be in demand over here, but where you currently are, there's too many, or it's just not enough opportunity to make it successful. Maybe this downturn or this change is going to be something that makes that a positive thing to consider. Oh, and then next thing, change of careers. What's funny is if you come do the office tour, you'll see we have the studio, and right outside the studio, one of our primary advisors is Eric. And we just sent an email to Eric today from a young man who's started to listen to us when he was 16
years old.
Now he's quickly approaching his early 20s. Yeah, that's right. We've been doing this for a long time, since 2006. And he's questioning on, he's making great success strides with saving, with his career, but he's just not super happy with maybe the career choices. We sent him to Eric because Eric was the same thing, coming from Big Four accounting experience, kind of had to take some lateral decisions, maybe even a step back temporarily, just to make huge strides in the long term for fulfillment, happiness, and success. So I'm telling you, there are all kind of, if you can take the negativity, yes, it stinks when you are approaching situations like this, but you never know, with that clarity of vision and then the ability to remove the noise, that maybe you can set yourself up for some really tremendous long-term success.
So if you do find yourself in that position, sort of step one is take an inventory of your skill set. What are the things that I'm really, really good at? What we're not saying is, okay, if you've been a welder your whole life and now you think you want to go be a professional basketball player, maybe that's not the thing you ought to do. But if you know that you have an affinity and an ability to do something better than 90% of your peers, maybe this is a great time to hone that and move in that direction.